Hey guys, Serenity from Witch's Treasure Trove here, and today is day one of our Herb Day, Plants Day, or Crystal Day educational event. Today we are going to talk about lavender. Why are we talking about lavender? Because it's one of my favorite herbs, and because it's also got so many more important details about it, other than it smells good and it looks pretty, that I want to kind of dive into. So bear with me. I do have notes, so I will be going back and forth with my notes, so bear with me, okay? So, lavender. Lavender is one of the most fragrant plants. Everybody knows this. It's mainly known for its calming state and the fact that it looks beautiful, okay? In every garden I have ever seen has had a ton of lavender. Now, there's so many different species of lavender out there. Specifically today, I'm going to talk about the one that I grow, which is called the Lavandula Angustifolia, or also known as English Lavender. So we're going to talk about English Lavender today, and it is part of the mint family. So lavender is part of the mint family. Lavender is native to the Mediterranean region, particularly France, Spain, and Italy. Lavender thrives in a sunny, well-drained soil, and it is drought tolerant. Cannot go without water at all, but it is very drought tolerant, so it can handle the heavy heat of desert temperatures with little to no intervention. Colors of lavender can vary from blue to most commonly purple, which is what everybody usually sees, but I just found this out. I've seen lavender comes in blue, purple, and pink and white. I'm just learning this. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I've seen a few, but I didn't realize it was lavender until I dug a little deeper. I'm like, I've never seen pink lavender before, but I saw it. And then they had little white leaves too, so it was incredibly cool. So, pollinators love lavender. I go to my garden every day, check on my lavender, check on my salvia, check on my sage, and the pollinators are always there. So we get butterflies, we get bees, we get hummingbirds, we get a little bit of everything. So it's a huge plant that likes to bring in a lot of the pollinators. So did you know that lavender has been used not just as a pretty flower or a smell, but it's been used for over 2,500 years. It was used in mummification and perfumes. It has, Romans have used it in bathing, cooking, and cleaning, and healing, of course. But did I say bathing, cooking, and cleaning? Yes, I did. So we're going to briefly touch on a couple of those things of how they use lavender, okay? So in cleansing, Romans would actually bathe in the lavender water to not only help themselves smell better, but lavender also helped cleanse the skin and disinfect the water through antibacterial and antiviral properties. Lavender has been used in cooking for generations. I specifically use lavender to this day in most of my cooking, particularly when I'm doing desserts or teas or lemonades, things of that nature. It's delicious. So, cooking has always been, lavender and cooking go hand in hand. They've been doing that for generations. So it can not only be used to flavor one of most everybody's favorite tea, lavender, but it can also be added to desserts to enhance flavor. I love using lavender buds when I make lemon cupcakes or blueberry lavender lemonade or lemon cake. One of my favorites is my blueberry lavender lemonade. So delicious between the floral hint of the lavender and the beautiful taste of the blueberries, and then obviously the delicious acidic taste of the lemon. Mixing them all together is absolutely amazing. I like to make it in the summer. I'll probably be making some soon. Lavender oil also has been used to clean homes for centuries as well. So lavender has antiseptic, antifungal, antibacterial properties. Lavender oil can be used as a deodorizer for furniture and upholstery. It's great when you put it on your countertops. You can clean your countertops, tables with it, the back of your toilet, the ceramic bowl. You can use lavender for those things too. I like to use lavender, prefer it actually, to using all those harsh chemicals that you can get at like Costco, Sam's Club, all those really harsh chemicals like bleach. I can't do bleach, I'm allergic to it. So my go-to is always herbal. I always go with herbs. Lavender is one of my go-tos. So you can throw a little lavender oil in the laundry. You also have a calming scented cardigan. So there's so many ways to use lavender, and it's just incredible the versatility of this plant. So let's dive a little bit deeper now. I am, as most of you know who've been following me for a while, am a 30-plus year practicing pagan. So I have been doing my practice for over 30 years, and I've been using the holistic and medicinal properties and values of all my plants and herbs. So we are going to talk about, I want to share some of the qualities of lavender on a more metaphysical level. So let's talk about the medicinal, holistic, and spiritual properties of lavender. Okay, here we go. Some medicinal properties include calming, anti-inflammatory, and analgesic, which is technically it's a drug to relieve pain. It's also an antimicrobial properties. It helps aid digestion and prompt skin wound healing. You can use it in a poultice. You can grind up some lavender buds, and you can put it on a wet paper towel, or just use it as is. You can throw in some water. You can throw in some sage, and you can make a nice pulpy poultice to put on wounds like cuts and scrapes. You can add that, and that actually helps to alleviate and rebuild the skin cells to help heal that wound faster. It's awesome. It also helps in sleep, helps reduce pain from menstrual cramps, headaches. I get a lot of tension headaches, so I have a lavender roll that I've made, and I put it on my temples, and that helps a lot with the headache pressure and the cluster headaches that I get right here. So I just put some oil on it, and it actually helps alleviate some of those pains. It also has been used to alleviate labor pains. Now, unfortunately, I tried to have a natural birth, but I couldn't. But I used to use lavender to help ease some of those cramps and pains as well. But I do know women who are midwives and use it and swear by using lavender to help alleviate some of the pressure of the labor pains. So that's really cool to note too. It also helps reduce anxiety, depression, and stress, specifically in adults, but studies have shown now that even children are starting to get the benefits of being in a room full of lavender scent as opposed to being in a room full of sweat and grossness. So even children are starting to reap the benefits of it, but a lot is more directed to adults. It's in adult studies. They've done a lot of research on it, and specifically in the 60, 70, 80 plus year old category, our elders love lavender. They say that it reduces their anxiety and stress by like 75 times their normal stress levels. So also really cool to note. Linalool is a key component in lavender, and what that does is it's a natural chemical that interacts with the central nervous system in the brain to promote a relaxed state of mind, and it also helps to lower blood pressure. So that's a nice little keepsake to hear about that. So a lot of people have used lavender oil in aromatherapy, put it in their diffusers, things of that nature. I have a diffuser in my room. I have lavender in it all the time because my most stressful place is my room or my living room. So I have lavender in a diffuser in both rooms just to help diffuse tension and help promote relaxation and things like that. Neurodivergent people like me always need something to self-regulate, and that scent helps me self-regulate. So it's a really cool way to help keep my episodes from my bipolar and my mania and my ADHD to, a tolerable level. So it's pretty cool. Now we're going to move on to spiritual benefits of lavender and the metaphysical benefits of lavender. So lavender can be used as psychic enhancement. It's a booster for psychic enhancement. It can clear your third eye chakra. A lot of times I've noticed with me specifically that I get, my brain gets very, very cluttered, and it feels like I've got a whole universe going on inside my brain due to my mental health condition, the bipolar, the ADHD, the autism, and the CPTSD. So I've noticed that my brain gets very cluttered, and so sometimes my other senses aren't working as good, like my intuition might be off. I just don't feel good. So I have to start relying on different senses and different chakras. So I start to lean heavily on the third eye chakra, which is my psychic enhancement chakra. So what this lavender can do is it actually clears that of any mess, noise that shouldn't be there. So it helps clear that up. Also, one of my favorite things is lucid dreaming. I am a dream journaler, so I will write down my dreams in a journal, but most of my dreams have been known to be extremely vivid, extremely vocal, extremely loud, lots of symbolism, lots of like hidden messages that I have to discover. So when I wake up, immediately I grab my journal, which is right next to, on the headboard right next to my bed, and I will write down what I just dreamed before I forget it. So lavender oil is one of those herbs that can actually intensify lucid dreaming to help bring in more of those dreams. Most of my dreams are prophetic, so I like to keep note of those, and a lot of them have already come true, which is why it's always been important for me to do that. So that's a really cool effect of lavender. It also is used for protection, and it can actually put a barrier and push out negative energy, negative fields of energy around your being, your person, your family. So lavender, having that going, can use as a natural barrier between you and negative energies. So that's incredibly cool. Also, it's been known to manifest change, so signify change. So it can help with a mental and positive transformation. So when you're in a rut, when you're having like a meltdown in my case, or if you're having, just mentally struggling and feeling like self-doubt and worthless and things like that, lavender acts as a natural stimulant to create a mental transformation. It can help with continued use. It can help you change that mindset about yourself, that mindset about your environment, and the mindset of what's going on in your life that's causing you all this distress. So it works as like a mental pick-me-up, per se. And then finally, this one I'm not 100% sure on, but I'm going to go with it just because the research says it does. So I know it helps bring peace, and I know it helps bring in spiritual connections because I use those specifically, but it also says it brings in luck and success. Now I'm starting to see the luck and success based on some of the things going on in my life, but I'm still trying to see if that actually attributes to lavender or just the different mindset. So I'm still working on it. Lavender also symbolizes protection, balance, and connection to the spirit world. So those are some really cool spiritual benefits and tips and things around lavender, which I wanted to go over. Finally, there's one last thing I did want to mention to you guys, and I did mention it a little bit earlier. So although lavender is mainly European use, through time, through trade, through bartering systems, some native tribes to the southwest were brought into the idea of lavender and its uses of medicinal uses, so such as respiratory relief, skincare routines, and aromatic healing. Culturally and symbolically, it's been used for aromatherapy and purification. Similar to cedar, sage, and sweetgrass, it is and can be used for smudging. The smoke from it does help cleanse the environment and the area, so it does help a lot with that. And then Native Americans did not originally use lavender, but after its introduction, some tribes did adopt it or its lookalike, which is called desert lavender. So it's similar, but not quite lavender. It's more of a drought-tolerant lavender, and it's not as aromatic, but it still smells good, and it still does, you know, similar things that lavender does for medicinal and ceremonial purposes, often drawing on some of the aromatic healing traditions found in other Native American plants like sage, cedarwood, Palo Santo, those things. We will cover a lot more of those herbs in detail, because most of these are going to be based on the Native American research that I've been doing. But today's topic was lavender, and that wasn't actually a native thing, so that's why I wanted to bring that up to you guys. So that's it for me. That's it for today. If you guys have any questions, comments, you want me to talk about a certain herb next video, which will be tomorrow, please drop a comment, a like, subscribe. Please share my page with people who are interested in herbs and learning about new things that nobody would really notice. So if you guys could, you know, give me that share and that like, I would really appreciate it. I really love talking about my passion with you guys, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys again. So until then, I am Serenity, and I am the CEO and founder of Witch's Treasure Trove, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, blessed be.